What's going on, all you Miami Metro police officers out there? Your two favorite detectives and murder and blood splatter analysts are back tonight, and we are talking about the prequel series of Dexter. It just came out on Paramount Plus. It kicked off back in December, and me and Logan here have had a chance to binge watch the entire first season. It's set in 1991 Miami, and it follows a young Dexter Morgan as he goes from student to vigilante serial killer. We're talking about Dexter, Original Sin.
History by the people around me. They say it takes a village to raise a killer.
I can get my satisfaction.
Well, this is obviously a prequel series. The young Dexter here, played by Patrick Gibson, the guy behind me, of course, made famous by Michael C. Hall, which still his voice still shows up in the series as a narrator, essentially, through young Dexter's life from student, to working with Miami Metro. Of course, introducing a lot of characters that we know from the original series, younger versions, getting acclimated to this position, this career at a young age, and really seeing a lot of, pretty crazy stuff, early on in his career, of course, with death and investigating this and examining the blood and everything that goes with that, as you would know as a lab technician.
Yeah, I look at a lot of slides in my line of work. I work in microbiology. So, yeah, dealing with infections, do a lot of gram stains and looking under the microscope, seeing what kind of bacteria and other organisms grow. So, this series is, 15 years before the original Dexter series, bringing in this actor to play Dexter. And overall, as the season progressed, I thought he did a good job, at least, doing the same mannerisms and acting the same and kind of inhabiting the role. I, bought him as the season went on. The first episode he was wearing a wig. It's kind of hard to judge. It throws you off because it's just a blatantly, just a bad wig that he was wearing. But essentially, he, eases into the role here, and it shows him just beginning at Miami Metro. You have a younger version of LaGuerta. You have Masuka and all those OG
Batista.
characters. Yeah, Batista, Angel Batista. Yes. So we see younger versions of all these, characters that we saw from the original series. Everybody, I thought, did a pretty good job. None of them really did bad, I thought. Everybody did their best job, not only impersonating, but kind of inhabiting the spirits of those characters. Masuka, had some really funny scenes and things that he brought up. He's always inappropriate, and the young actor that they got to play Masuka was funny. Yeah, and he did the laugh.
He even had the laugh down. Yeah, I thought
I know he did. Yeah, and Batista, I thought that guy, did a great job playing Batista. It really felt like a younger version of what is it, David Zayas' character. I think he played Angel, the original series. So everybody does a good job here. And then you have Harry, Dexter's father, and teaching
Christian
him the
Slater.
code. Yeah, Christian Slater here, played by Christian Slater, the old 90s star. So we were interested in seeing how that would go down. And you have him as the, the older version with Dexter, and then you flash back into his past, and how he kind of started the code and the murder and the bad things that he saw. And with Brian Moser, Dexter's brother, and diving into all that, which we saw some in the original series, but this gave you a chance to go back in time and sort of get some scenes. And yeah, Christian Slater's wig there. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was very believable. Him as probably a 30-year-old in the show. They put makeup on him and a wig. Obviously, it was clearly a wig, but you could tell Christian Slater was having fun with it. It just wasn't believable. And that's really my nitpick of the show. I didn't think any of the cast really looked like any of the characters, like physically. Like they had mannerisms down, the way they talked and stuff like that, but just the look. They didn't have the look. It's fine. You kind of look past that eventually, like episode 4 or 5. You just like for the performances alone, they're more believable, and the show got a little better throughout. But of course, we're getting young Dexter going in, killing some really bad people, and you're like kind of side with Dexter. I'm like, well, they are pieces of shit, so you kind of
Right.
That's what Dexter does. He takes out the bad people, and that's how it's all gets started with Harry kind of guiding him, Christian Slater's character, throughout this, and Dark Passenger, of course, and also
Hmm.
diving into Dexter's brother Brian, as you were saying, when they were kids, like a young Michael Myers. And I thought that was pretty
Yeah.
interesting because we didn't give much backstory, of course, of Dexter all that much and his brother.
Hmm.
So it was cool how they explained all that having to do with a bunch of stuff, serial killer, a lot of blood and whatnot, and why Brian goes the path he does, and why Dexter finds his path with Harry. So very interesting backstory, I will say that.
Yeah, it was. And what about that scene in the
Hmm.
shipping container
Yeah.
with the chainsaw? Just brutal, and you can see why Dexter is messed up in the way he is after going through something like that.
Yeah.
We also have Patrick Dempsey here as Captain Aaron Spencer, who is involved in a pretty big plot, the main plot of this season having to do with his son going missing and him being distraught and, trying to find out who the killer is. And eventually, towards the end of the series, you find out that there's a big twist involving his character. And we're not going to spoil anything here, but he plays pretty big part of this season, and he's got a mustache, and he's playing kind of this. Is he's the captain, so he's the leader, but you can see he's like slowly going crazy. He's always not showing up on time. He's getting more disheveled as the season goes on because his son's missing. And when the twist happens at the end, it makes a lot of sense. And it's kind of predictable what happens, but that's okay. I thought overall his performance was good, not bad at all or anything like that. Again, in a couple scenes, he was made to look a little younger, put in darker hair on him and a darker mustache and all that. So does it look believable all the time? No. But it is what it is. It had the same music as the original Dexter. Um, Probably the relationship and the characters that I appreciated most on this show were Deb and Dexter, the brother-sister relationship. I thought those two did a really great job together. The girl playing Deb definitely had that Deb's shtick down, the cussing all the time, the snapping. She did a great job, I thought, anyway. But yeah, I like the two of them together. They're fighting in one scene, and then Dexter has to save her, and they're just a great duo, and it reminds you of the original series with Deb and Dex and those actors too. And yeah, so overall, did we see anything cutting edge or brand new? No, not too much. I did like how they dive in, like you said, with Dexter's brother. And I could see that if this series was to continue after this, if we could dive into that relationship, there's a lot there between the brothers that they could definitely go into and bring in some characters from the original OG series that we haven't seen. Dokes, it's opening the door for him to come in and to meet Dexter. And you're fucking weird, Dexter. We need to hear that again.
Yeah, he's always cussing at him and stuff. But yeah, the actress's name was Molly Brown, or is Molly Brown, that was, playing the young Deb
Mhm.
Morgan. Of course, you had Patrick Gibson playing Dexter. Yeah, I love their personalities. They had the chemistry. I had that, they had that all down. I thought it got better throughout the series. And of course, all the side characters that show up along the way, of course, having to do with the serial killer, murderer, child abuser, person that's pretty predictable. But once you look past that, yeah, there's some pretty decent performances in the show. It started off pretty rough. It felt like more of a parody in the beginning, but it's found its footing
Mhm.
eventually, and really set up some really great set pieces and kills and some really bad people along the way. And another complaint from me, Sarah Michelle Gellar, so underutilized. I love her.
Yeah,
I love her as an actress, but she
right.
had a few parts in the series, and that was pretty much it. So, kind of bummed about that. I thought she would have a bigger part. Just a nitpick on my side, but overall, it's decent, not terrible, not great. Is it a show we really needed? No, but we have some upcoming Dexter show coming out, so this gets us excited for that. Michael C. Hall, of course, returning, the OG, the best, one of my favorite actors out there. I'm really excited for that. But this gives you a little taste of Dexter, gives a little bit of a prequel, backstory in these characters. And if you look past all the silliness, it's a decent watch. So that being
Mhm.
said, I'm going to give Dexter Original Sin. I'm going to give it a 3. out of 5. Michael C. Hall hair pieces.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think we enjoyed it both the same, willing to forgive a lot of the misgivings and the silliness of it. You know, in the end, the actors and actresses did a pretty good job here, gave us a little backstory into the young life of young Dexter, and got us excited for the return of Michael C. Hall and Resurrection coming this summer. So, with that being said, I too am going to give Dexter Original Sin. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 Christian Slater hair pieces.
It's real. Easy there, Christian.
He looked just like he did back in the 90s movies.
Yeah, in the 80s too, man. He was in a bunch of
Yeah.
80s movies.
Yes,
Don't pump up the volume there, sport.
No kidding. Heathers, cuffs. Yeah.
Gleaming the Cube. Where's the
Oh, yeah.
skateboarder? Want to hear it from all you wild serial killers out there. What did you like about Dexter Original Sin? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite season? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't poke your eye out there, son. Also, check out these wild masked assailants on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for latest, greatest TV, movie news, and reviews.
So until these boys watch the next Dexter series in the summer, I'm Uncle Henry Hill, and that's my good mate over there.
Logan Bazooka signing
No,
out.
not you, Christian Slater.
Till next time. Cheers.
Cheers.